Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. Today is July the 28th, and I am going to do your Just for Today in a meditation with you. I am brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our H.O.O.D Recovery Services. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. I'm excited to be with you today. I hope that you will enjoy this meditation. All right, let's go ahead and get into the meditation. Let me share the screen real quick. All right, secrets and intimacy. We feared that if we ever revealed ourselves as we were, we would surely be rejected. Basic text, page 32. Having relationships without barriers, ones in which we can be entirely open with our feelings, is something many of us desire. At the same time, the possibilities of such intimacy causes us more fear than almost any other situation in life. If we examine what frightens us, we'll usually find that we are attempting to hide an aspect of our personalities that we are ashamed of, an aspect we sometimes haven't even admitted to ourselves. We don't want others to know of our insecurities or pain or our neediness, so we simply refuse to expose them. We may imagine that if no one knows about our imperfections, those imperfections will cease to exist. This is the point where our relationships stop. Anyone who enters our lives will not get past the point at which our secrets begin. To maintain intimacy in a relationship, it is essential that we acknowledge our defects and accept them. When we do, the fortress of denial, erected to keep these things hidden, will come crashing down, enabling us to build up our relationships with others. Just for today, I have opportunities to share my inner self. I will take advantage of those opportunities and draw closer to those I love. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the wee version of the Serenity Prayer, and then get right into the discussion. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Powerful. This meditation is powerful. I wish that, there were more meditations like this that were just so concise, very clear, and easily read. This meditation is powerful because it's talking about secrets and intimacy. Now, I believe most of us, when we think about intimacy, we naturally think about intimacy, right? We think about getting connected with the person we love and our sexual energy that we share with that person. We think about being intimate, meaning we think about bedroom type intimate. The problem with addicts is that level of intimacy becomes rather random, right? We became promiscuous, or we traded sexual favors, or it lost the energy of intimacy, true intimacy, because it was just an act that we carried out to get to our next high. Or it was a drug for us. It was like a drug. We were addicted to sex. So it lost meaning in a sense. It became less special. So now when we talk about secrets and intimacy, generally speaking, someone that you're that intimate with if we're just talking about sexuality, right? If we talk about that, then our secrets are born to them. They're laid to bear. They're made open. Generally, that's what people think when they say we're intimate, we're a couple, we're a pair, we're married. You think about not having secrets. That's generally what comes to mind. But in this day and age, that's far from the case. There's a lot of people that are married or in intimate sexual relationships with people they know absolutely nothing about, or they only know half truths. And it is, I believe, it is a true statement where it says anyone who enters our lives will not get past the point at which our secrets begin. Because that is a barrier that we erected, that we placed there. You can come this far, but you can't come completely in. I'll let you into the exterior garden, but you cannot come into the interior garden. I will hold you at bay on the steps or the stoop, right? But you won't be able to enter into the building unless I let you in. We're conditioned to have compartmentalized areas of life. So we have, on one hand, we have a section of our life that we let only recovering people into. And they know a lot of our deep, dark secrets because we go to the meeting and we start talking about the things that are affecting our recovery. But it's an anonymous program, so technically they shouldn't have your address. Technically, they shouldn't know who your family members are. Technically, it's an anonymous program. So I'm coming with my name and initial. And if you want the details about who I am, you need to ask, or we need to have that level of relationship, right? Not everyone in the meeting is automatically brought into my inner courtyard, right? Because it's an anonymous program. So that's one compartment. Then there's this other compartment called family. These are the people that either I birthed or I was birthed, or through birth, I'm related to them. And family has a different take on you. Family has that take, I've known you since you were a little girl. You've been telling lies since you were little. You've been pocketing my change since you was a child. Or I heard stories about you. Your mother told me all about how disrespectful you were to her at the age of 12, right? So family has history with you that maybe the recovery compartment might have some of that history, but family knows a lot about you. And because they know so much about you, they don't necessarily have to ask you to be intimate with them. They don't necessarily even have to ask you to share your secrets with them, because most of that they know. And the intimacy part, far as personal relationships, they already have access to you. I mean, these are the people that are going to see you on holidays, generally speaking. These are the people that when you show up at the cousin's wedding, they're also going to be there. They generally have some information they're privy to information about you, and even some of your secrets that the rest of the world doesn't know. Then there's that secular compartment, people we work with. The ones we paint our face for and go to work all dressed up, or we have certain guidelines and rights and responsibilities, or the olden days we used to call it rules and regulations. There's these policies that dictate how we relate to each other. The work relationship, they can even tell you that you cannot have an intimate partnership or relationship with any of your coworkers. You can not cross those boundaries here. And so sometimes people develop affairs that are hidden in the dark because they are really working together as employees and they're not supposed to be in a relationship. It's a conflict of interest. So work is different, right? It's more structured. Then there's these other compartments in our heads. There's no one in those compartments but us. Me, myself, and I are in this compartment. And in this compartment is the stinking thinking. In this compartment is my thoughts about other people, my judgment calls, my revengeful nature, my too gullible nature. In these different compartments, they're created by me. And they are existing as a part of me, but outside of me, right? They really are who I am, but I have not allowed anyone in there to get to know that space. And that's where this is true, because it's hard to have a relationship with someone that has not fully shared with you who they are. And I'm all about that, getting to know someone over a period of time. But at the end of the day, if I'm kissing you and loving up on you and we're intimate, I kind of feel that there should be this sharing. Now, I'm not interested in all your exes, right? But I need to know that you have a problem with anger, right? I don't want to learn that. Why not just tell me? You know, there was this one guy that I was really attracted to. And this was before I went to Oregon and before I lived in India and in Kenya doing missionary work. And I really, really liked this guy. And his family was really, really liking me. But a little bird came up to me because they saw that we were spending a lot of time together. And this person loved me, cared about me enough to pull me aside and come up to me. Now, this story is going somewhere because I don't have long today. I don't have long to do this, right? This is going to make a point. This person came up to me and they said, it would be wrong for me to gossip about anyone, but I do care about you and I do love you. And what I will say is that be careful. The people you are keeping company with, you need to be careful. Do your due diligence. Know who you're spending time with. And that was it. I was like, oh my gosh. First of all, that's pretty serious that you would make sure to let me know that there's someone I'm keeping time with that I may not know the details about. And so, you know, me, I have like a prison outreach background. I've never been to prison other than to go into prison and bring programs and resources to inmates, right? And transport families to see their loved ones that were locked up in prison. And so I have, at that time, I had some familiarity of some programs I could do some research on. And I accessed this one particular program, and I did some research on their full name. I found out that they had committed a very serious crime. And I found out that they were on the sexual registry. And I could not believe the opportunities I had been in, or the times that I had been in their space of just them and myself. And there was never anything that was fishy. They never did or said anything to me that made me think that they would ever try to harm me. And we had not been sexually intimate at all, right? Because I was trying to make sure I did this time. I made sure I do this right. Meet their family, right? So taking my time, but I was very much in love with them. And instead of being brazen and getting a hold of them, why didn't you tell me? I developed this sneaky type thing. And I was like, I wonder how long it's going to take for them to share this part of them with me. You know, before I knew it, a year had gone by and they still had never said anything to me, never brought it up. A year and a couple months went by. They never said anything. Eventually, I made up my mind that I didn't want to be involved with someone that could keep a secret, spend that much time with me and keep a secret like that. It was years later, we were hanging out and they decided to pull themselves up on the system on the computer. And they said, I have something I want to share with you. And when I sat down, I almost instantly knew that this was the moment that they were going to share their past with me. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And they looked at me and they said, so what do you think? And I said, you know what? I've known that for so long. I've known that for years. I've just been waiting for you to say something. Like, I've known it for years and it hasn't stopped me caring about you. I just thought you would have said something by now. In that moment, you could have heard a pin drop. And the expression on their face was, how dare you? How dare you have this information about me and not confront me about it or even bring it up? They looked exasperated. They looked like they had really struggled throughout the years to get to the point of sharing this with me. And then I expose it and say, I've already known. Instead of being like grateful, like, oh my gosh, you still embrace me, instead of just blowing me off, they were offended that I had this information. And I realized something, that keeping secrets, see, on their end, they kept that secret and I was blown away by it. But on my end, I had the information and I kept it secret that I had the information and I could see the hurt in their eyes. I'm not sure if this is making sense, but the point is that secrets, they harm the keeper of the secret and they harm the person that is not aware of the secret, regardless of what type of secret it is. If you're intimate with someone, if you are trying to develop a relationship with someone, at some point in time, you have to be vulnerable and disclose who you truly are, so that when they make the decision to maintain connection to you, they are doing it based on the truth, not a lie. I still am a person, I don't believe in going back over all your relationships and stuff like that. Sometimes those past relationships might come up and you might have to deal with some tendencies or your issues or your hangups, but I wouldn't just sit and itemize every relationship I've been in. However, if there's something about me personally that I need to make sure you know, so that when you get into a relationship with me, you understand this about me. Let me give you an example. I am highly, or lowly, I don't know which way to put it, but I am OCD on so many levels. And because of that OCD, it can paralyze me. Fear can paralyze me. And so a person that is close to me needs to know, be given examples of what that looks like. Because sometimes it ruins my functionality. my ability to socialize. Sometimes it can really throw things off kilter, and a person really close to me needs to know. I'm not just trying to be mean. I don't want to come in your house because of, right? They need to know that I have this trait, right? To some people, it's like no big deal. But when you start to get to know someone, just remember where you keep your secret, where you establish your boundary is as far as that relationship can go, and it will never go further. In the spiritual realm, it's not possible for it to go further in spirit and in truth. It can go further, but it will go further in dishonesty. It will go further as a lie because the person is not operating at face value or truthfully. And so I want that for you today. I want for you to think about maybe just one or two, right? People that need more information about you, right? As long as the risk level is not super high, I'm comfortable saying this. But if it's super high and it could end a marriage, it could end, right? These are things you need to run through your sponsor. But maybe there's someone that needs to know something about you and you've been withholding it. And I want to challenge you today to think about some low risk situations and pray about it and get your words together about how you want to say it. And then meet with them and tell them, I'm this, or this happened and that's why I act like that. I just want to make sure that I'm upfront with you and that you know this about me, so that if you want to move forward in our friendship or relationship, you have this information. And if you don't, I release you. I don't want to take anybody hostage. Right? So think about that today. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you. I am going to be doing the spiritual principle a day meditation at some point later. I have a meeting that I need to be in at 9 o'clock, and I am going to make sure that I do that because my recovery, my personal recovery, is very important to me. I will be talking to you tomorrow. Thank you for listening.